Good afternoon, and thank you for joining our webinar today on how to inform voter behavior with better political targeting, which is part of GroundTruth's on-demand webinar series for 2023. It's hard to believe that the 2024 election season is already in full swing and is expected to be the most expensive election in our nation's history. So we're here today to talk about how GroundTruth can precisely help political advertisers reach their target audiences across all screens with minimal waste. So let's dive into today's agenda. First, we're going to provide some background on GroundTruth and the value that we provide for marketers. Second, we're going to provide an overview of the political landscape for the 2024 election season. Next, we'll review our location and audience-based targeting tactics that can be used for your campaigns. Then we'll talk about having a multi-channel approach on channels such as mobile, desktop, CTV, and direct mail. And then lastly, we're going to end on a discussion with our self-serve platform Ads Manager, as well as a quick demo by myself on one of our new and exciting ad products, the scrolling text banner. But a little bit about us. My name is Bill Maddock, and I am a strategic account executive with GroundTruth. And joining me today is Mac Johnson, who is our director of platform sales. Well, I will hand the baton off to for now.
Thanks, Bill. As Bill mentioned, my name's Mac. I also go by Malcolm. That's why he didn't mess up there. That's actually meant to be. So before we dive into some background on the anticipated political landscape for 2024, just a brief about us. So GroundTruth is a media company that turns real-world behavior into marketing that delivers real business results. For today's purposes, we'll obviously be focusing on political. So instead of real business results, you can think of political actions, engagement, or awareness. So for the 2024 election cycle, we have some anticipated numbers to kind of set the table for what we expect to happen in the digital media space. So we expect over 11 billion in terms of ad spend over that cycle. We expect an increase of 9% in Spanish language ads from where they were in the previous 2020 cycle. And we anticipate 60% of smart TV homes having completely cut the cords. That means that they are unable to be reached via linear TV. So what this means for you as a potential advertiser or someone interested in the space, 11 billion is very, very large scale in terms of ad placements and just overall scale. So that basically means that if you are not leveraging digital media for your purposes, whether that's a cause or a candidate, that you can almost be certain that your rival or your competitor is. The Spanish language ads really just highlight the importance of multicultural marketing. So you have to be able to zero in on obviously Spanish speakers, probably people of Hispanic or Latino descent, and be able to reach them with a niche message at the right time. And the 60% of smart TV homeowners having cut the cord really highlights the importance of leveraging audiences in order to reach people via traditional channels. So like I mentioned before, you cannot reach these cord cutters via typical linear TV. And I think we all have probably noticed a shift kind of outside of the typical monocultural cultural moments that we had in the past where everyone's watching the same TV program at night. You can reach them all with one ad. We have a much more fragmented society at this point in terms of our media consumption. And with the tools that we have available in terms of identifying audiences, it's more important than ever to deliver the right message at the right time to the right audience. So audience segmentation in the political space, these are just some examples of who we expect to really be engaging in terms of the digital media space. So political and marketing PR agencies, PACs, political candidates, natural interest groups, and government agencies, and the effectiveness of political targeting. So 65% of adults in the US gather information about upcoming elections through digital channels, and 39% of millennials surveyed stated that they were swayed by digital political ads. This is incredibly important because, as I mentioned before, we have a very fragmented media landscape for the 2024 cycle, and people are more savvy than ever when it comes to ads that are being pushed to them. So you have to really be able to target a granular audience, identify the correct message for that specific audience, and serve it to them on the right channel. And capitalize on key moments. So you can see the timeline that we have placed in front of you is pretty busy. It's kind of unbelievable that all of this is going to be starting very, very shortly. For the presidential election in 2024, we have some anticipated dates from the Iowa caucus in January, all the way through the conventions in the summer, and then obviously the election day in November. This is going to come up very, very rapidly. So it's more important than ever to get a plan in front of yourselves right now so that you can anticipate some of these large milestones and get your proper message out at the right time. Additionally, what we've highlighted here is the presidential race, but as you can see in our targeting tip down there, there's actually even more importance to be placed on down ballot local and regional races. There's going to be more milestones and key events that you have to anticipate and plan around for the next year. So it really behooves advertisers at this point to put together plans as soon as possible in order to anticipate these dates.
Thanks, Mac. And it's crazy to think that the Iowa caucuses are only 7 weeks away, which is really exciting. But now let's take a look at our GroundTruth toolbox, which enables us to capture real-world behaviors. So how do we do this? Well, we have a proprietary mapping technology called Blueprints, which maps the real world in a virtual environment with the highest levels of accuracy. So as you can see here on this slide, we actually polygon out the locations in our platform into 3 different layers. The first is in-store, which would be in green. The second is the parking lot, which you can see as in orange. And then the third is the nearby retail block, which is in purple. Blueprints really are the foundation of what we do here at GroundTruth, and we typically use them for audience building, real-time targeting, and attribution measurement. We're able to measure both online and offline visitation post-ad exposure, which is an incredibly valuable metric. We have close to over 5 million locations blueprinted in our platform for places such as retailers, restaurants, car dealerships, but we now also have congressional districts blueprinted, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes. But first, here's a quick overview of our targeting capabilities. GroundTruth can target in the following ways. First is real-time moments, reaching people precisely where they are in real time. For example, a political advertiser could target the Republican National Convention next July, which will be held at the Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee. Then afterwards, the people that attended that convention could be retargeted all the way up to Election Day. Second is past behaviors, reaching people based on places that they have been. For example, if somebody goes to Starbucks or Walmart or perhaps car dealerships, or also by behavior groups such as soccer moms or outdoor enthusiasts. This is all based on 100% observed visitation. And again, we're able to do this by our blueprinting technology, which builds audiences based on visitation that we then use for targeting. And the third way to target is by weather. If you're not aware, GroundTruth actually owns WeatherBug, which is a popular weather app that gives us access to 15 million unique users. We use their technology in our platform for weather triggers to run campaigns based on conditions such as rain, snow, or even temperature, which can be very effective. So now let's take a look at our location-based audience tactics. As I mentioned before, GroundTruth can now target by congressional districts, which is exciting news. We have all 435 congressional districts mapped in our platform, which is based on U.S. Census Bureau. Basically, what we've done is we've used our blueprinting technology to determine the difference between a resident and a visitor to build custom audiences specific to every district. Political advertisers can now target these audiences with messaging based on the issues relevant to that district, which is incredibly precise. And of course, we have geo-targeting. Geo-targeting is a terrific tactic for helping to build volunteer bases, fundraising, and for helping to get out the vote messages. We can reach audiences where they are in real time using zip codes, county, DMA, city, and state targeting. For example, it's expected that presidential candidates are going to heavy up in battleground states such as Pennsylvania, Arizona, and Michigan. So it's worth noting that GroundTruth offers state-level targeting across mobile, desktop, CTV, OTT, and direct mail, which can all deliver the right audiences and eliminate any waste.
So now we're going to talk about some audience-based tactics that we have available in order to drive political actions, engagement, and awareness. So Bill had mentioned some of our capabilities in terms of blueprints and leveraging location to build audiences. On top of those capabilities, we are also plugged into some of the most robust data sets in the country for political. So we have voter profiles available to target on an audience basis. So some available segments that we have would be political party, voter types, so like active, absentee, early inactive, voter history, so going all the way back to 2000 and determining whether someone voted, which party, and what their voting behaviors were like, and party line voting, so obviously determining who has voted among the same party line for multiple cycles. In combination with some of those third-party audiences that we plug into, we have a very rich first-party data set built on visitation, where we can build very granular and unique audiences for targeting. So combining visitation behaviors with demographic information, we build sophisticated audience profiles and target potential voters based on their lifestyle and interests. So if you're able to segment your potential audience of voters or citizens or whomever you're trying to reach based on their behavior, so maybe they're affluent, maybe they're parents, maybe they are active, maybe they're retirees who are volunteering. These are audiences that we can plug into based on that real world behavior. So using that blueprint technology that Bill had talked about earlier, we're able to measure visits and then build unique audience profiles for targeting, in addition to the audiences that we have in terms of like Democrat, Republican, party voter line, et cetera. In addition to those two types of audiences that I had mentioned before, we have additional factors that we can bring into the campaign. So one would be demographic targeting. So I think most political advertisers will have an idea of what their demographics look like in terms of what's a problem demographic, who do they succeed with, what message has to go to which demographic. So we can further segment audiences that we've built with demographic information like gender, household income, age, and ethnicity. We can also plug into third-party audiences outside of strictly political. So I know I had mentioned like party line voting before. However, if you needed to reach, for instance, medical professionals or volunteers at a retirement home, we can pull in audiences from a very rich and robust data set in order to kind of fit those niche granular needs. In addition to that, we have custom capabilities of combining demographics with first-party, with third-party audiences, layering it on in unique ways in order to create sophisticated audiences for activation.
And now let's take a look at some multi-channel opportunities. It's really important for political advertisers to really diversify and have a multi-channel strategy to ensure that nobody misses, crucial points during their campaign. And it's a great way to reinforce their message. For example, using mobile to reach consumers on the go. CTV, leveraging the sight, sound, and motion of video ads to create an emotional connection. Desktop and laptop, influencing consumers throughout the day, whether they're at home or at work. Digital out of home, running billboards in either airports, train stations, taxis, and then direct mail, reaching potential voters by sending out postcard mailers with QR codes. These are all channels that GroundTruth has that can help deliver measurable and impactful results. So let's take a minute to talk about CTV. Now that connected TV really has surpassed both broadcast and linear, or broadcast and cable TV viewership, CTV really has become the dominant form of entertainment TV on TV screens, and is projected to make up over 13% of political ad spend. That's over $1.3 billion being spent on CTV for the 2024 election cycle, which is a huge increase from 2020. As you can see on this slide, we've actually included an example of a CTV ad with a QR code. QR codes are really, really great for collecting data from supporters as well as for fundraising. So we suggest including QR codes in your ads when possible. A little bit about GroundTruth CTV. Now, there's a lot of benefits and highlights on this slide, but I really just wanted to call out the ones that really stand out. First off, there are no minimum spends. Let me say that again. There are no minimum spends, not only on GroundTruth CTV, but all of the GroundTruth channels. Number two, GroundTruth CTV, we offer category targeting on premium publishers across categories such as sports, news, weather, and we also just added a Spanish language category, which, as Mac alluded to earlier, that will be a big target for the upcoming election season. Number three is we provide location-based audience targeting, such as soccer moms or big box shoppers, and we can report on online and offline visitation metrics. And lastly, we offer a $25 CPM, and we don't charge any additional premiums for targeting. So really, at the end of the day, GroundTruth CTV offers precision targeting across premium networks with very efficient rates.
So now we're going to talk about how you can actually leverage all of these audiences and all of this data into successful campaigns. So at a time when more and more DSPs and digital media companies are pulling out of political advertising altogether, we are offering more solutions than ever in order to actually activate campaigns. So the three main modes of activation with GroundTruth would be hands-free, hands-on, and handshake. That's going to be our managed services team that would basically do all of the heavy lifting for campaigns for you with full service. Hands-on, that would be the ads manager platform where you can activate campaigns on a self-serve basis, pause and stop as you go, make optimizations yourself, and view real-time reporting. And then handshake would be our reseller team, which typically partners with other media companies to supplement their core media offering. So the benefits of Ads Manager for political advertisers who are looking to activate a campaign would be the ability to target real voters or real citizens, whomever you're trying to influence with this campaign. We already mentioned a few of the audience solutions, the location solutions, and the weather solutions. That's all available at a drop of the hat with Ads Manager. Deliver timely contextual ads. So again, using those extremely granular audiences to dynamically target people based off of their past behavior. And as Bill mentioned, no minimum spend. So we actually really encourage smaller campaigns to start so that you can get comfortable with the platform and scale up as you see results. That's how many advertisers come and start working with us, even just throwing a few $100 in. So it's something that we can definitely work with and still provide support for, because we want to prove out the value of the platform to you before you make a massive investment. GroundTruth Ads Manager also provides a lot of reporting in the main dashboard, really granular reporting that you can use to make optimizations and actually prove out the success of the campaign. So obviously you can activate a campaign in real time. We can leverage location at the zip code level in order to basically report on where ads are actually showing up, or to make optimizations towards where you would like to focus the campaign. Bill mentioned earlier, we do have all of the US congressional districts blueprinted in our system. We can also intake some additional custom work should you need it. And then the real-time reporting allows for campaign analyzation and optimizations, in a day-over-day basis, where you're in full control of your campaigns. So if your pacing is behind, your CTR is lower than you'd like, your visits are higher than you anticipated, we can recommend all types of optimizations in order to ensure success for the campaign. Additionally, we can offer billing on a credit card basis, so activating can truly happen on a self-serve basis within minutes. How to get started? So we have basically 5 main steps that we would ask you to take in order to advertise with us on a political basis. So campaign approval. Different types of publishers have brand safety guidelines that we need to adhere to. So we do ask that you send us whatever you're trying to do, especially in terms of creative. Then it's going to be district and audience selection, followed by budget and CPM really. Tactics, so that's basically just connecting with our team in order to ensure scalability. And then creative ad sizing, that's going to be running all of your media in the correct sizes and pixel format across both our mobile display as well as CTV, OTT, and others. A new solution that we have on the creative end that is particularly valuable for political advertisers is the scrollable text banner. So this is a builder tool that exists right within Ads Manager. that allows you to quickly build fully customizable scrolling text display banners. It's very customizable, so color, font, really anything that you need in order for it to adhere to the brand guidelines of your candidate or your cause, whatever it may be. We can offer a lot of customization to make sure that it adheres. The scrollable text banner really offers the opportunity to fit more message in a smaller banner space. So typically a 320 by 50 banner can do a great job of getting a simple message across, something like a candidate slogan. However, I'm sure as many political advertisers listening will understand that you want to be able to communicate more than just a few word phrase. So this allows you to, in a highly dynamic way, get a larger message across to drive, higher click-through rates and to actually impact people in the moment instead of just repeating maybe a slogan that they're already aware of.
Great, thanks, Mac. And really, to show you how easy it is to build the scrolling text ad in our platform, I am going to provide a quick demo. So let me jump out of the presentation and slide over to Ads Manager, and hopefully you guys can all see. But this is our self-serve platform, Ads Manager, and this is where you would come to set up your campaigns, choose your targeting. But for this demonstration purpose, I just want to take you to how to build the ad creative. So right now, you would go into the ad creative section within Ads Manager, click on New Creative, and then go to the top, and then you're going to click Text Banner. This will help you build your own creative. As you can see here on the right, this is going to be a preview of the actual build. To give it a name, we're just going to call it Text Banner. You can choose as a background either solid or an image. For today's purpose, I'm going to choose solid, and then you can change the colors. So I'm going to choose a nice color green to kind of give you the look and feel of GroundTruth. So we're going to select that. Here's where you can upload a logo. I'm going to upload a GroundTruth logo. Business name, we'll just call it GroundTruth for now. Caption, we're going to put our real world behavior, real business results tagline. And here's where the magic happens right now. So where this toggle option is to turn on scrolling, we're going to move that over to the right. And basically that caption is now going to be scrolling within the ad unit, which really helps with engagement and really helps with click-through rates. We're now seeing over a 1% click-through rates on these new scrolling text banners. We're going to put a URL, which is groundtruth.com. And then if you're looking to drive physical visits to a location, here's where you would select the show distance from location option. So that's basically it. I'd say in less than a minute, you can really build your own ad within our platform for this new scrollable text banner. And as Mac alluded to before, it really is a terrific ad unit in terms of driving engagement for political advertisers. So I'm going to jump back into the presentation and we will wrap it up. So this really this concludes our webinar for today on how to inform voter behavior with better political targeting. As we stated at the beginning, GroundTruth is a media company that turns real-world behaviors, such as location, into marketing that delivers real business results. So please reach out to Mac or myself to help you guys strategize for your next political campaigns. Our emails are listed here on the bottom of the page. Thank you for joining, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.